Everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to show you how to use some surfaces to be able to sculpt this shape. So we're going to finally get to something like that, which is a shelled item. But for now we're only going to go to this point here, okay? So something like that with a little bit of a cutout at the bottom. So let's get to it. I'm going to go to a new configuration and get my rollback bar to the beginning as if we were starting from scratch. And on the front plane, I'm going to put a sketch. And in class, I don't know if you can remember, I said you can use the sketch picture command. If you can't find it, just type it in the top in the command bar and say sketch picture when you found it. This will take you to your Windows Explorer. You just find wherever you put that image if you've created one. You can use JPEGs, PNGs, GIFs, whatever you want. Solidworks will place it in the top right hand quadrant, and at the moment this is it's much too large. You can see it's 727 millimeter high. So this scaling bar allows you to scale whatever's inside the sketch. The way you use it is you grab the tail end or the sort of little button on the one end and you put that at one extreme, and then you grab the front end, you drag this up to where you want it to be. Could be across, could be wherever you want it, and then you let go when you think it's roughly at the other extreme. When you let go, you'll get the modify dialog box, and you just type in the dimension that you want. So in this case it should be 165, and that means that my drawing has been scaled down to 165. You can drag this to where you want it to be. Sometimes you might find that the scale tool gets in the way, it starts floating around. I just disable it, and then from here you can do other things. So I would like this to be flat, so I'm going to type in 90 in the angle. So you can see that's placed it at 90, but it's flipped it left to right, top to bottom. You can flip it again using these buttons until it's where you want it to be, and then just drag it down or across. So I want my origin to sit smack bang in the middle of that top line. So I'm going to hit the escape button, and I forgot to put my yak D on, so let's just see if I can't get that going quickly. Right, there we go. Okay, so you can see which buttons I'm using. So escape, and then I'm going to create a center line which has, a construction line which has a midpoint line from the origin out to one side. That'll be 165 divided by 2. Have I done this correctly? Yes, I have. Okay, so there's my line. I can then just put a dimension in to control it. And now if you double click in this sketch, you can drag it around. You can drag it around to be as precisely where you want it to be as you can get. Something like that for me. Well, I haven't shown you one or two other things, but I'm going to show them to you in a minute. So there's my sketch. Okay, let's put a block in. So I'm going to go from the top view sketch. You can see that line represents that sketch I've just put in place. I'm going to create a center point rectangle of dimensions 165 by 40, 140 by 165, and then I'm going to extrude this, and you'll see that in this case the extrusion is coming out the wrong direction. It's going the other direction, and I want it to be about 30 or so. That's good enough. Say OK, and here you can see that sketch there, that's that one there, is getting in the way. So what you can do is just double click inside here, under transparency, say full image, and just make this much more transparent. So 65 is good. So at least I can still see the sketch, but I can access my model as well. So I'm going to change the name of this. I'm going to slow click inside it, let go, pull my cursor out, because if you leave the cursor in the control bar, it starts messing with you. So let's call this side image. I don't think I can leave it like that. I'm going to have to put B in. Yes, okay, and I'm going to call this body. This is just so that I can find this again easily. Right, so I want to use that sketch again, so I'm going to hide my body and we're going to create a new sketch in the front plane again so I can see this, and then draw a new sketch. So I'm activating the arc command by just hovering over the last point, put a few dimensions in here. So I want to control height and the width from the origin of this, and I want to do the same for that point. 30. I want that angle to be 1.5. And we can give this a dimension. Let's go 225 is good. What else? So I need that height. So make it 4. Okay, so I actually want this to be a lot gentler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this across. There we go. That's looking much more like I want it to be. So I'm not following my sketch slavishly. I'm adjusting it. So let's make this 230 because that can also be, yeah, that's good. That's about does it. I'm leaving these 2 points deliberately undefined, these endpoints, because I'm going to get them to snap to the model. So let's exit that. Let's get this body to show itself again. Go back into the sketch. Go normal to, and so I'm going to just snap that to that point. And that to that point. And then exit. Okay, so I'm going to use that sketch 1 to split. We're going to use the under curves split line, which is either under features or under surfaces. There we go. It's exactly the same command. I'm going to do that one thing, and then I'm going to use that same curve, that one there, not the split line, but the actual curve, to create the cut surfaces. So let's go to split line. At the moment it's selected just part of the sketch. You need to delete that, create the whole sketch. And as long as the sketch is large enough, it'll do this. So you'll be able to split all 4 sides. I mean, you could even split the top, but you don't need to do that for now. There we go. You can see it's split all 4 sides. So let's create the first of our compound curves. So compound curves are curves which curve in 2 different directions. So normally a surface, well, let me just show you. So we're going to use swept surface. I don't think I've told you that yet. So we're going to use swept surface, we're going to use extend surface, and we use cut with surface. Don't need to use extend surface depending on this primary sketch, but just in case you get into a position where you want to, you know how to do it. So I would like to create a kind of a sketch showing the profile of this swept surface. So I'm going to go to the right view, put a sketch in, and I'm going to start with a 3-point arc, start outside here. In fact, what I'm going to do rather is, because I don't want to waste time, create a center line and then use this command here, dynamic mirror entities, which when I use it allows me to draw half of the sketch and not worry about the other half. Okay, so that's one part. I want that point to join that edge. So you must make sure that that edge is in line. So if I try and join that to that, not that one there, let's do that again. That one there to there, it should not work, merge. So it says no. But if I change this to be in line, so that one there to there, and I say pierce, it'll pierce. So you see that that point has become black, which means it's fully defined. Let's go back into this view. No. That view, not that one. It's not doing it. There it is. Okay, I'm going to deliberately leave this curve slightly wrong. So I'm going to make it come out beyond what you see are the bounds of my starting point, my solid model, but I'm going to give this some dimensions which make the curve come beneath and beyond at the bottom. Let's put in another curve. So I'm going to go from that same point because I now don't have to worry about it being connected. I know it is. And let's put in a width. 20. Let's make this quite wide because we want that to be quite steep. We want this to be quite gentle. So let's give this dimension of about 40 or so. Yeah, that's probably right. And let's control the height, which will give us one more. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of steepish. All right, so that first top bit's going to work, and the second bit is sort of going to work, but not 100%. I'm showing you the mistakes so that you know what to do when you make them, because you will make them. We all make mistakes. Right, so that sketch that I want to use as the guide for this one here has disappeared under split line, so I'm going to just click on it and say show. So I want that sketch to be the path and this sketch to be the profile. All right, so under surface sketch sweep, you'll see the first thing it asks us for is the profile. That's this one here. Second one will have to be the path. What you should notice straight away is that Solidworks defaults to giving you one of the directions, direction 1 or 2, but we want both directions. Say yes, and we're done. Okay, so there's going to be a problem with this in that the surface needs to extend beyond the boundaries of the part that you want to cut for it to work. So this is not going to work. I'm going to show you that it doesn't work. When you say cut sweep, you'll get this direction arrow. Make sure it points in the right direction. It's going to say, I don't want to do that. And the reason is because that surface is too small. Okay, so that's where extend surface comes in. You can pick parts of ends of the surface, so it'll only do one surface at a time. Won't allow you, for instance, to pick that end. It'll say no. You can select. You can set the distance. Don't make it too big because then you start asking for more problems. So we've extended the surface, and now we're going to have a problem in that there's going to be a flat on that part. So let's just show you. It'll cut, but not nicely. There we go. So let's just hide this. So there we go. It's left this flat bit. So that is all the fault of the sketch here. That one there. Let's just edit the sketch. If we make that much gentler, say 60, that's definitely going to work. Right. So that's going to have cut that out. All right. And let me show you another trick. So instead of using the surface extend, if we'd use this sketch here, not that one there, in a different fashion, and we'd made the end of the sketch come out beyond the bounds of that surface, we'd have sufficient amount of surface to cut with. So that's what I'm doing here, just to show you the difference. Okay, so we don't really need this anymore. I'm going to delete it. Not going to make any difference. And so I can use this side to do the same thing. Let's cut the surface. Use that one. It must give me that direction. There we go. And then we can hide this. All right, so this is not really exactly as I would want it, but it's good enough. I'm just showing you the method, not how to refine it. Now, I'm going to try and use the sketch again because I want to create this bottom cut. So let's go back to the front view, and I'm going to just grab this sketch. Instead of going back to my original sketch and redrawing this, I'm just going to say convert entities. It's done it. But to be able to use it, I need to get rid of these three on edge things. So I'm going to go to display delete relations, on edge, grab all of them, delete all, say yes. Now I can just grab the whole sketch and say move entities, move from there down to there, and I can see that's pretty much in line with my other sketch, and I can just give this some dimensions. So what's going to happen here is it's going to have lost the relations as well, so you need to reintroduce those two tangencies, otherwise you're going to have problems. I'm going to give you a kink, so I want that to be 30. We want a height from there 13. I want an angle. Let's make this a bit steeper. That's good. And let's give this a few dimensions as well. 9. 18. Alright, so here I need to go and see my original sketch, so I'm just going to select this body and hide it. There we go, so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, so this one here needs to come across a whole lot more. That height needs to change down a whole lot. There we go. Okay, so I'm going pretty quickly because obviously I don't want to belabor it, but you can hopefully get the picture of just how powerful these controlling dimensions can be once you know how to use them and you get the idea of design intent. So I'm just rounding these off because I really don't like non-rounded off numbers. Let's give that 190, something like this. 300. Yeah, that's almost getting there, and that needs to be 240 or something. No, maybe steeper, 170. That's kind of doing it. I'm not going to get this to be perfect. And here, instead of getting that point to be a certain distance, I'm just going to couple it to that point there, because I know that that distance is already in place. One fewer thing to do. So there we go. That's going to be the basis of my bottom cut. And I want to put another sketch inside on the right view. Okay. So it's just going to be a curve, something like this with, nope, that's not right. I want it to have a belly. And now I want the center point of that line to connect with this line here. And so in class, what I'd shown you to do is to use the point. But an easier way, I think, is to create a construction line, get it to snap to that center, and then make this vertical, and then just put a few relations in, like horizontal and a dimension, a width. So I think that's going to have to be around 40 at least, maybe bigger. Okay, so once it's got that in place, or you can do this before, click on the point, that midpoint, click on that line while holding the shift button down. When you let go, you can say make pierce. The two are now pierced. That is way too round, so we need to make that like something like that. Yeah, it's looking good. Maybe that's a bit too gentle. We'll see now. Okay, so with those two in place, I don't think 40 is going to be wide enough. Let's just make this a bit wider. So I'm going to use, let's just exit that sketch. I'm going to use the swept surface command again. So once again, that is the profile, that is the path going in both directions like that. Go to this body, make it visible. I'm going very fast, I know, but you guys can always slow it down and watch step by step. All right, so I should now be able to cut the surface using the same surface. It's cutting on the outside. That's it. And I'm going to hide that. And so we've got one more little cutout to do. So I'm going to go back to the front view and I'm going to say sketch. But hold on, can I use a sketch here again? Probably not, but what I do need to do is just to hide this for a second so I can see that sketch. go to the front view, and then just put another one of these in, like that. In this case, I'm going to, yeah, let's give it a dimension as to its radius. Let's give it a width, 52. Here, as long as it's big enough to work, and then I'm going to control its height. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to use this to just pull this down. All right, that's looking close, and I'm going to use the center again. Oh, that's done. We want that one there. 27. Yeah, that about does it, I think. I'm going to leave it as it is. So one last thing, just to make sure that everything tidies up, just make those horizontal. All right, so let's put another sort of bottom to this, because I don't want a simple curve, I want a complex curve. In this case, I'm going to create the curve once again on the right plane. And what you'll notice now is that this sketch is not going to touch this other sketch. So that sketch there will not, that one there will not touch this one. I'm doing this just to show you that the sketches do not need to be linked. They can be apart from one another. Let's make that 43. Let's give this something like 120 perhaps. Oh, wrong way down. Let's just pull this back up. That needs to be linked to there. Oh, okay, so this is somewhere there's a link here. I'm not sure about. I'm just going to get rid of this, pull this up. Okay, so I think what's happened, here we go. What's happened here is that that sketch's center point has aligned with the origin. That's where the problem lies. So let's just, oh, doesn't like that. So I just pull the center line out and then do this again. So that's going to go from there to there. That will be vertical. Now I can pull the sketch. Really doesn't like that, does it? Does not like it. All right, I'm going to delete this and let's just see if we can't get this going. Oh, I see what the problem is. So that bit there, yes. All right, so let's get these two to be horizontal, and then I'm going to click on the sketch and then click on this point, shift, and say make those midpoint. That should help resolve my positioning difficulties. 43. And so this is where the problem might come in. Let's see, 120, let's see what happens. Yeah, all right, so that's a problem. So let's go back. So the problem there is because these two are linked, the moment I put that dimension in, so I need to give this a dimension to control it. So let's make this 15 or 17, maybe a bit less. Let's just grab that. There we go. Okay, now I should be able to change this dimension without a problem. There we go. Okay. All right, so I can't really get these two to align, even though I say coincident, it's not going to do anything. So this is like I'm eyeballing this, but just to show you that this works. So I'm going to go to swept surface, and that's going to be my profile. That's going to be the path, and then we're going to go both sides and say yes. Show the body again, and then so that one there is going to cut this piece out. So cut with surface, make sure this is going in the right direction, say okay, and then we're done. Okay, so that's as far as we're going to go in this video. One more thing to show you is you want to be able to see your surface bodies, and I think in your current version of Solidworks they don't show. The way to get that resolved is I'm going to do this twice. So I'm going to say you click on the file name at the top, which hopefully you've named correctly. Hide show tree items. It'll give you the system option feature manager, your surface bodies will say hidden, hide. So you'll see here that there's no surface bodies showing. So let's go in reverse. You're going to do it as automatic. Say OK. And there they are. They're showing. Okay, so that means you can hide all of them at once. There they all are. There's your 4 surfaces, or you can show all of them at once, or you can do all sorts of things. All right, so that's it for now. I'll show you how to put some fillets in and how to split this into 2 bodies and the rest in the next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.